Turn down too. I think I turned it on. I did. Turned it off.
Actually, don't do this all in.
Right.
Well, you're.
Point from. Meeting. Ready?
All right, it's 9 o'clock. We call the Blanford County Commissioners Court order this Tuesday, October the 8th, 2024, and ask Ms. Wall to call the roll.
Mr. Prater, Mr. Lear.
Here.
Mr.
Here.
Here. Here.
Deliberations.
And. One. Yeah. One thing. One. Please, Ms. Fanny, for the invocation. Ms. Harris, do the.
Please come to your we realize you gave us the team, so we may let us forget. The members of this board reconsider Father, we pray for your stay. We pray that we are healthy. We thank you that keep us safe.
Item 1 is your consideration of possible approval of this meeting.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes as presented for the special meeting on Monday, September 30th, and the regular meeting on Tuesday, September 24th.
Is there a second? No second. For eager discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed. Motion carries. Item 2, the estimated payroll.
Make a motion to approve the estimated October 2024 payroll in the amount of $569,480.20.
Is there a second? Mr. Ryder, discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed. Motion carries. Nothing to. Sorry, item 3. Item 3 is ratifying the August report and approving all of the official reports for this month. And the reports are all in. Anyone?
Make a motion to ratify the August 2024 report for TAC and approval of all the official reports for September 2024.
Is there a second? I'll second. Mr. Eager, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion carries. There are no line item transfers to consider today, so moving to item 5, outstanding bills.
I'll make a motion to ratify the bills in the amount of $9,209.93 and approve the outstanding bills in the amount of $675,883.50.
Is there a second? Private discussion. All in favor, say aye. All opposed. Motion carries. Item 6 on your agenda, Chris Miller, the new executive director for GATCOG, as of this past month, is here to make a presentation, make himself welcome here at one of the 10 counties for GATCOG. Come on up. I'm sorry, and I see that you have with you, Mark, Richard.
I do, and I also Jan Scott. She was planning to your Austin traffic. Just come out and movie. Say so. So, well, thank you, Judge, and my presentation, and just to update you again. Well, Canada, and I did probably one of my little thoughts is Martin Ritchie, and you all is our online security director, and I would probably have a couple other folks here, other directors, and this is the day of the CJAC meeting, where they're setting the policy for the opening of the CJAC Justice Advisory, and so Charles, director. Planning services to be here, but anyway, I do want to say thank you. Judge Bray just began officially as the executive director on September 1st, and took over for Betty Boyce, who is retired and is still in the office on a couple day basis, but not we definitely get to use talents, skills and knowledge, but so very excited.
So back in June, you were one of the 2 finalists that we interviewed, and selected you, and then there was a period, July and August, sort of what we call
Transition. They call me executive director designee.
And then Ms. Boyce, yes, and do you want to give the commissioners a little background? I know because we need to long interview, but they might like to know how you got here.
Okay, well, history in local service, right now, kind of the focus of being a city manager, and I did that for about 15 years, different locations. Originally grew up in the Denver, Colorado, and lived in different places throughout the country, and kind of had a midpoint where 16 I came to Tyler, Texas, which is where I still live, and then they'll here. My daughter's a senior in high school. She's doing full college applications anywhere in town, and so I came to Tyler in 2016 to be executive director of the Northeast Texas Regional Mobility Authority, Central Texas Region, big toll road group in Austin. Well, Tyler actually has a toll road, and it's a 14 county organization, and I was the executive director there for about 4 years, and then got back into local government. I served as a county administrator in a county near Washington D.C. area. So I was, and Virginia's nice. There are some very pretty areas, but Virginia is also very crowded. I was wanting to get back to Texas, so I had this opportunity. I was very fortunate to get this opportunity. This is what I have done. I was a college director in Mobile, Alabama area at one time. And, this is just something that I really enjoy, being able to be involved in regional activities and the opportunity to serve cities, counties, and I couldn't ask for a better opportunity. And you know, I told Judge Bray I appreciate it, and I know he was one of the hiring committee. 10 counties that we have, and you know, it couldn't ask for a better area to live. A lot of challenges, a lot of opportunities, but you know, got so much diversity in terms of these western counties, what we call, and have the corridor and have their eastern counties that we serve. So you know, we go all the way out to your neighbor to the northwest, Lamco County, and all the way east to Fayette County, and you know, so we get around. I'm very fortunate that I stepped into a situation that was very well established, and we have some great leadership at our department levels. And you know, but one of the things that I feel that I need to do is get out and be seen and interact with you all to make sure it's just not one meeting a month that we're interacting with our counties and our cities. And this is Blanco County today. After this, get to go to folks in Johnson City, the city mayor and the team there, and then I'm going to be down in Blanco later this afternoon to say hello and to talk about some of the opportunities. So happy to talk about any of the CapCog projects. I know Charles Simone, Regional Planning Services Director, had mentioned about solid waste and the GIS opportunities that we're working with you on. Also, you know, transportation work that and then, you know, so if there's any specific questions, I'm happy to try to answer those, or at least make sure that we get back with you, get you information. But I do have, as I said, my two props here. These are superstars here. These are two very important we have with Area Agency on Aging. Everybody is going to be touched by Area Agency on Aging programs, some measure. And this is Jennifer Scott, who is our director, and then we also have Mark Ritchie, who does our home security. And you know, with your permission, we'd like to just let those folks just kind of update you on some of their projects. I don't obviously take too much time. I know that things. Happy to answer any questions, and just I'm glad to be a part of this area. Look forward to
Questions?
Welcome aboard.
yeah.
Good morning. I'm Jennifer Scott, and I am the director of the Agency on Aging and Disability Resource Center, which covers our 10 counties. And I just wanted to give a little update on some of the services that we provide in Blanco County, and that's transportation. We also provide the home delivered meals for seniors that are bound. And also congregate meals, and we have care coordination, which is for folks that are at home who want to stay home at risk of having to move into a senior care community. We can provide wraparound services for those folks that are 60 and above, their caregivers. And we also have our ombudsman services, which are specially trained advocates. You have one nursing home in Blanco County, and my ombudsman makes very frequent visits to advocate on behalf of the seniors that live in that particular nursing home. And we also have the Aging and Disability Resource Center, which is a part of the Area Agency on Aging. And those are information referral services for people who have disabilities that reside in Blanco County. They can call us with, if they need resources, need information, need what services are here. We put together a very expansive caregiver guide, and I have it both in English and Spanish that lists all the resources in our 10 counties, and it's wonderful resource for our family caregivers and also people that are trying to develop and figure out their path forward as they age. And the Area Agency on Aging also does what's called evidence-based programs in Blanco County, which is a matter of balance, fall prevention, chronic disease self-management, and building better caregivers. So we have an entire wraparound set of services that are all funded through the Older American Act of 1965, submitted in 2020. It's a wonderful set of services. And I'll tell you that we keep track of where our consumers are coming from, which part of the 10 counties, and how many calls received from each of the counties, and how many hours of care coordination. And Blanco County, for some reason, is one of our lowest numbers of consumers that utilize our services. So we do extensive outreach. Blanco County, we came here 4 times in the last year. We've touched a lot of people, but certainly would look for some suggestions on how to spread the message of the services that we provide. They are at no cost to the consumer. We do ask for voluntary donations if they are able, but that is not a mandatory requirement. And we can really help people stay in their home. We have short-term services from homemaker to some household repairs and respite. Like we have a respite voucher program where finding providers in Blanco County is very difficult. And so we have a respite program that the person can decide who their respite provider is going to be. It could be a family member. We give them a voucher for anywhere from 30 to 40 hours of respite that they can pay their provider to come in, and so the caregiver can get a break. And it's designed as a voucher program because it is a more rural area and it's harder to find providers. And so the consumer can pick who they want to provide that particular respite care. Those are just some small examples of some of the programs that we have. I'm always, anybody would like to give me a call to talk about other resources and also how to expand more fully into Blanco County. We're here a lot, we just don't get a lot of calls from Blanco County, and we'd love to get more from our senior population who lives in Blanco County. It's very pretty cool territory. So that gives you a somewhat of a broad overview, a very high level view of services. And I'm open to any questions that you might have. And
When you go on your visit to Johnson City, the city offices, after you're done there, you need to make Chris turn to the Community Resource Center. You've got some of those guides with you. They would be a good distribution point for those. Additionally, Blanco County has a member on your advisory committee, right?
yes, sir.
And let me see, I've gone through.
Very active member.
Gone through 2 or 3, but right now we have Dawn Kepler, right?
She's fantastic. She's very, very active. And we work closely with that Community Resource Center. And we just we are starting a new program to reach out to family members who have somebody who's their caregiver for that has Alzheimer's or related dementia. And the Community Resource Center here is one of our selected sites. They've agreed to host some 6-week courses on how to interact with their loved ones, the importance of early diagnosis, how to address some behavioral concerns that come along. And so the Community Resource Center here in Johnson City is one of the 2 sites that we will be hosting those courses on.
So Dawn is the CRC's in Johnson City. Dawn lives in Johnson City. She's former mayor of Johnson City, et cetera, et cetera. If in your interactions with her, do you feel like Blanco County is getting represented? You know, including she's in Blanco.
Yes.
City.
Yeah, she is extremely active on the Aging Advisory Committee, and we can call her at any time. She's extremely responsive and really wants us to bring and do more as much as we can. But again, it's spreading that message that our services are available.
Commissioners, questions? Thank you for your, it's an interesting job because, in the Capcom world, Commissioner Leesman deals a lot with home security and those kinds of things, and Mr. Riley deals with solid waste, those kinds of things, transportation issues, but the aging issue, I don't think is like high visibility necessarily in the grand scheme of things, and yet it's a big piece. If you look at the pie of what Capcom is doing, it's a pretty good sized piece.
Yes, my aging division is the most people. And we are the direct service provider through our contracts, sub-recipients, and really expanded to all 10 counties, helping the folks that are 60 and above and their family caregivers, and also people with disabilities that are below 60 who are aging and disability resource center. So we have a very broad reach throughout our 10 counties. But it's also called the best kept secret. So we don't want it to be that. We want people to be able to reach out to us and receive help when they need it, especially when they have a loved one that just came back from the hospital or rehab, and the caregiver needs help and needs support services for 6 to 10 weeks, so that person doesn't have to go back to the hospital. Altering to stop people going back and forth to the hospital on patients. That's what our services are designed for. Folks from that, which can really help the counties in not having to help supplant folks that can't afford that home.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, I appreciate your time, and I'm waiting for Stuart. Will come on in.
And I have a customer now too. Morning, everyone. First off, I'd like to say I feel like I'm at home because I see so many people that I know already. Mr. Leesman is a member of the Homeland Security Task Force, and I was county EMC in 2015 in Caldwell County during the flood event, and we worked together to create the Blanco Regional Recovery Team, which covered 4 counties to do the recovery. Very much understanding what the needs are of the smaller counties, and I hope I carry that to my work every day at Capcom. I live in a small county. I think about how we can do things to bring technology, awareness, support to the smaller communities. I know that there was almost $1 million project that we helped with that went out by the Johnson Ranch to open up the radio communications to the western part of Blanco County. We were so grateful that the county supported the project and ran with it to speed. I think that was probably record breaking in terms of, that's a heavy lift, but you guys have got it. Awesome. So it's really amazing. So appreciate that.
Seemed to help Llano County too.
Pardon me?
I think it seemed to help Llano County also.
Yes, it helped Llano County, because you guys have done what no other in the county or the region has done, is that you have created your own radio communications portal, so to speak, on the western counties. And I tried to get that to be replicated. We still will in some of the other counties, because it's so easy to share that burden and lower the cost to the taxpayers and get better service. And that's one of the things that we do with Capcom, is try to bring some services. There are a couple of services from our division that you guys use quite frequently. I know the judge is one of the few elected judges in the 10 county regions. The 10 county region uses our web UC, because I see during disasters he signed in. I could see who's signed in. I'm like, it's like, I don't feel like I'm like in front of my computer. There's a judge out here. But for sure, I know Mr. Leesman is up there since he does your emergency and stuff. And there's kind of an interesting little situation. We have not as many people participating maybe as they like to have with aging services. Well, I'm here to report that more people are signed up in North Central Texas. We have more numbers of contacts for Blanco than people that actually live in Blanco. We have 14,888 census. Now, keep in mind, there could be duplicates of people having a work cell phone or, another phone in the system. So it works out that way. But I wanted to give you some up-to-date data. So that was the total. Every time Commissioner Leisman is a big user, this is sending out emergencies and boil water notices. Obviously, it sends out automatic messages for if there's a tornado warning, a severe thunderstorm warning, flood warning. We send warning. System automatically sends warning messages out. And then, of course, locally, if there's a law enforcement issue, that's handled by the commissioner and law enforcement folks. Blanco County always was one of the best counties in terms of those that were signing up to get the alerts through Warren Central Texas. This is a portal we created that allows the folks here to get emergency alerts on your cell phone. Although we have a pretty good run with numbers, folks, it's not guaranteed we get everyone. So, this is the kind of situation where batting 1,000 is required to get into the Hall of Fame. If you have a 300 or 400 batting average, doesn't matter, you're missing everybody. So we really, tell folks, if you're not signed up yourself for emergency alerts, please do so. It's free. It automatically will give you an opportunity to sign up to get those alerts for the weather that I mentioned. But we have spent some time and energy and commitment. Judge, you was a big part of this when we went and funded cell phone list. And that we have 7,114 curated cell phone numbers that we were able to obtain through our vendor. So that's an astonishing amount. So that helps us get, a good chunk of folks. Of the total universe, the 7,114 cell phone numbers we get through our vendor, we get 5,229 landline and voice numbers through AT&T and through our consortium to buy VoIP numbers. All of these numbers are geolocated to the address of the user. That's how the system works. The commissioner draws a circle, a polygon on a map, or pops up the shapefile of a city or a whole county to send an emergency message. So if you don't get the message, maybe you're outside of the polygons. Hazmat spill, it's not involving your area, he's not going to wake up the whole county and let you know. He's just going to let the people know need to know. So that's a really good set of numbers. So that means that 2,514 are 2,541 are cell phone registrations for people that voluntarily want to Warren Central Texas and something. So overall, you guys get an A. It'd be an A+ as all these brochures leave today with the folks that are in the gallery. A whole bundle behind. But I do appreciate the support. I know that you guys are using the system very well, and we're always looking for you.
So, Marvin, as a former emergency management coordinator and director of Homeland Security, I guess it's safe to say you're pretty focused on safety.
Yes.
And pretty mindset about safety.
It's on my mind all the time.
And yet, so people, why little sticks with you, and yet bad things can happen even to people like you.
Yes. Yes, I tried to work. It was the beautiful day, and it had rained earlier. There was a small puddle at the bottom of a bridge that was going over another highway. And I noticed that there was some water on the pavement, so I reduced speed. Reduced down to 50. We were SH 130 roads with an 85-mile-per-hour speed, which I'm always in the right lane. I'm not going 50 like some, but I mean, it's going a pretty good amount. But slow down to 50 miles per hour, but I hydroplaned and my car went off the road. I had a choice of either hitting the bridge or going between the two roadways. And I avoided hitting anybody else or doing anything like that. But it damaged my spinal cord. And I spent 6 months in a wheelchair, an electric chair. They don't like you to like electric chair, but it's all comes up. So I'm not in Brownsville, it's up a little bit. I spent 6 months in that situation while wildfires raging in the summer all around the house. Pretty crazy. So I planned to drive my wheelchair out to my pasture, wait for the fire through the pasture and into the blacks. Because the area that's burned is the safest place. Into the black. All right. So but all along, I continue to be participating remotely with Captain. As a matter of fact, while the company closed off the emergency, I was canceling a meeting that was going to be taking place the next day because I'm on a governor's task force for private sector security and things like nuclear power plants. But I love what I do. I mean, I don't want to say this in front of my boss, closure is committed. I'd do it for nothing if I had to, because I love it. And love public service. I really miss being in my own town. I did. Betty asked me 5 times to take this responsibility and I turned her down. I thought maybe I'm the drowning guy, the old saying, but goes to heaven. And I said to the guy, oh, I thought maybe I was that. So I'm really happy doing what I'm doing because I'm able to work with a lot of counties and bring them the things that they need. Yeah, 6 of the counties are very rural. Well, it's rural nature, but 6 of them are smaller communities under 50,000 residents, and there's a different need there than Travis County or Williamson County. And even Hayes County has grown to such an extent that they have, bench strength and other things. There's nothing, there are great communities. We have special needs here that we can address different ways by, bringing value. That's all we want to do. And Commissioner and Judge, you guys can call me anytime, 20%.
So just for the record, you have a real county judge, a guy that while you're laid up in the hospital, builds a ramp at your house, redoes your driveway.
Yes, my county judge was meeting while I'm in recovery. Not able to move because I'm going to be on a wheelchair. He builds, so he's a construction guy, builds a ramp. They re-gravel my driveway because it's bumpy because plumbers pipes leak the most, and I was always busy running on fire calls. I'm a firefighter and a volunteer fire department, president of the department and commissioner of the ESD, of course. I was on Foundation for Education and Entertainment Conference, like all of you all do. You get involved in the community and you just love it. But it also meant that I had to get my tail back in here. I couldn't just sit and stew in my juices. I really had to get going. And the prayers, I had a miracle. I'm standing here, walking. I have paraplegic. You ever seen a paraplegic walk? Well, definitely God's handing. So
We're very glad to have you back.
You did.
It's been a long road. I know. Watched you go through your process. I do want to mention one thing. How you mentioned that we have more registered people on the reverse 911 than actually live in the county. And when I was doing reverse 911s last week, I believe, one person in this room, there was 4 different phone numbers for that one person. So that one person got 4 different calls, but it was in there. So we went ahead and notified them 4 times. That's it.
Martin.
I've got the brochure with me. I'll leave them in here.
Yeah, mine would be good. Yes, sir.
Judge, I just one last.
Some of that.
Instead hanging, but I didn't see. I just wanted to mention also, we also do regional law enforcement academy, and I know we do have a deputy that's enrolled, or want to be enrolled, and I know, David Wood is over the director of that. He's also one of the big instructors there, our chief instructor. He's working through all that. And then, as I mentioned, we have regional services department, and that's Charles Simone, and they do, a number of things like transportation, rural transportation, the GIS, the solid waste, and I know had a grant with you all. And then they also do criminal justice activities. And then I would be remiss, obviously, mentioning, one district, which I know in August, we had that switch over, or the end of July, I think we had to cut you guys over to the new system. So we're here for you. I mean, that's the most important thing. It's, I don't want to ever have a situation where we haven't seen you in a while. I don't want to hear that. So please call me, or, we have these outstanding representatives of the various programs we do, but we're willing to be here anytime. And, and I may do drop-ins, Judge. I get to see the judge
Routinely.
at least once a month. But I do want to be as present as I can in the communities that we serve. So
Ms. Swift, our treasurer, is at the end of the table there and handles the exhibit hall booking.
okay.
And we're interested in, if you have any of these programs that you want to do regionally out here in the western part of Capcom, we're interested in using that facility. Right.
We would like that. I do want to speak with you and Judge Cunningham and Lano and Judge Oakley and about ideas of having like a sub-regional type of a thing. I know we are going to talk probably more about the idea of doing some surveys or doing some reach outs about the Regional Law Enforcement Academy, because what does that look like? More organizations are getting their own training facilities, their own trainers, and the academy is going to have to take a different approach, I think, and maybe that's satellites, maybe that's more continuing education type things. But we know that the most important thing is get the law enforcement officers trained, but also do it in a cost-effective way for the counties and the cities that are where they're coming from. So,
Well, I advocate satellites, but I don't know that it is cost effective. But the reason I advocate them is because of our situation.
yes,
We have cadets that are just as likely to go to the San Antonio courses as opposed to yours.
yes,
And yet, the one thing we have to say is that the Capcom Law Enforcement Academy has never not graduated someone at 100% placement rate. So,
thank you again.
thank you. Item 7 on your agenda is an update from Ms. Jenkins on the Veterans Memorial.
Good morning, Judge, commissioners, and attendees. My name is Sherry Jenkins, just for those that know. I am the regent for the Hill Country chapter in SBAR, National Dollars of the American Revolution, which is the sponsor of the Veterans Memorial. I don't see. And we'll give you a quick update. The first thing, Judge, I would like to tell you, which I appreciate Commissioner Lisa and Commissioner eagerness to work on the committee after you appointed us. I'm staying in physical labor. And for their staff, we just installed the white homes. That was maybe a little more opportunity than we thought. and Commissioner Lisa, people were right there to get everything done that we needed to get. So thank you both. Along with that, we prepare for ribbon cutting and ceremony, which is 11 a.m. Saturday, November 16th. Our speaker will be Candy. She is a retired chief warrant officer from the United States Army. Thank you, and all the employees. She is not only a veteran herself, she is a Gold Star. And for those that be aware of the Star, she lost a child in service to the armed forces of America. So I think she'll bring us a good message. She's pretty inspiring. I have heard her before. We are working, we had to wait to get the flagpoles in till we got all of the drainage done. That's successful. We had to get the flagpoles in. And they were supposed to start this morning straight, and I think the contractor broke his foot. So because he texted me pretty early. But we'll be up and going, and we'll tell you that our benches and our bricks should be delivered back here for installation. We're thinking by the end of the month. They sent us proofs yesterday, all those things. So we still have 6 benches that haven't been sponsored. If anybody's interested, please see me. That's part of our fundraising. And that fundraising, and I visited with the judge last week. We've been with we took the summer, I guess, off or something. And it was a little warmer. But we have we had raised $110,000. We didn't look to stay on it. Our goal was cash 175. So God was really good to us last week. We Johnson City, the city of Johnson City had pledged last year for $10,000 to us, and so last Tuesday night that was approved at their meeting. The other thing that happened is our city mayor and her husband, the constable, who sponsored the Texas flag, made a $10,000 donation. That's some 20,000. We have another 1,000 committed, and I'm told there's another 20,000.
You can go ahead.
Okay. In my talking with the judge, I said, well, he had someone that I would so. And Kinder Morgan has pledged $20,000. And then we got another 7,000. So, God is good. We would like to make that total 175. So we're just we feel very confident about it. We pay our bills and still have on top. So you're going to see a lot of activity there. Transposing our real piece of land into something that is going in to the end of time for sure. So I look forward to seeing all here. 60. It'll be a Sarah, if you be impressed. Questions?
What does it cost to sponsor a bench?
It's not.
Okay.
Those benches stuff on the blocks, they're nicer. And the committee, we had some 300 sayings that we chose, 12 sayings. And those sayings, different words or whatever it said, you might be familiar with, and that is sandblasted into that bench. And so then whatever there is a 4x6 plaque put on it with your name or whatever, that's what happens there. And so we have think we still have 6 to go that we have not sponsored here. So that is certainly just reach out to me. And Susie Corlett, who's an Army veteran, that's who coordinates all of these breaks and whatever. She's pretty excellent spreadsheet. Other questions?
I think we move into item 8.
Okay.
So you might as well state it.
Talking about a bigger precedence is, things are kind of, and, last week at our meeting, we decided is that we have had a bigger presence, we will, because we still have so many people within the county. And other places that say, well, we never heard of this, so we will be at the pig roast, the fairgrounds, I guess Friday and Saturday, whatever those days, we put our we have our new shirts that are limited editions, and they're $20. We have all of our paraphernalia. You can buy a brick, you can find out more information about it, if you have that. Then we will be have a presence October 19th. Is at the car show, and I think that'll be around the courthouse. I think it's October 19th. And Wakan Street puts that on. The Blanco County Veterans Memorial is their designated fundraising fund. Last year we received between $6,000 and $7,000. They're hoping to do a better job of that this year. Then the other thing, what we're asking for today is to be on the House lawn on December 7th. The chamber has their chili cook-off. We want presence there to share our message of what we're doing and what's going to transpire in Blanco County to honor all veterans of all services. So we're asking for that. I guess it's the 6th and the 7th of December. We would like to be on the courthouse lawn. And then also during Light Spectacular, we want a presence there, and we're asking to be on the courthouse lawn. We're a 501(c)(3). I accept your donations. I do not pay fees to enter these things because we are a service organization.
Your point being that it would cost money to set up a booth in.
Yes, sir.
In the market.
Yes, sir. Exactly.
So you're asking the court to authorize independently.
Us to, yes.
Can you tell the court if you had any interaction with the ladies with the garden? It's the garden club, and then that go inside the courthouse and sell the stuff.
Have I had interaction with them? Some.
Well, what I'm really asking is, are they gonna mind you? And
I'm totally different from them. I don't know. They're selling their ornaments. It's a totally different place. I'm gonna every year. And I give them gifts. What I'm doing is telling the story of America's freedom and the people offer that freedom so that they can be in the courthouse to settle.
And so you've talked to the Light Spectacular group, and they're
Yes.
refusing to.
Well, it was different. And I had talked with Brad, she after the city meeting, and we have talked, and it's all kosher. I think they're speaking for you.
so, in other words,
We are in good.
phrase is different. So she doesn't have to make exceptions for you. She can keep to their program, which is selling booths, making money for Light Spectacular. But she doesn't have a problem with you coming to the court to independently become.
We're just going to work together to find the right spot for this in connection with their setup. But we're going to be, up there. If we possibly.
All right, so this is a potential action item if anyone has a motion.
So Ray, we're good with that?
Patient, Sue. Particularly pleasing, viewing of the lines as well, so it's going to work together and get this accomplished. So you have this studies.
Okay.
A need, and actually the lights. So he always, I remember, I was in the board when they okayed it, but we will have to do space for that event as well.
So with that being said, I'll make a motion to authorize the Blanco County Veterans Memorial Committee to utilize the courthouse grounds to sell items during Light Spectacular. Sale date to be Friday and Saturday, November 29th and 30th, and December 6th and 7th.
Is there a second? Second. Commissioner Eager, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And the commissioners.
Thank you. Item 9 is a reach out by Ms. Strong.
And Commissioners, I just want to give you guys a short update. What I do, there's a lot of confusion of what service officers do. Mostly because we all do things in the same. I took bits and pieces of what other service officers do, the way I do things, and always looking to change and modify if I hear something that. Some county PSOs just do the basics by cleaning as many people. That's it. They just fill out the paper and send it in. Others do a full file review, case management, and advocacy. When I'm contacted by residents, I verify the county, try to get an idea of what they need assistance with, and then see if I have access to their veterans file. Schedule an appointment with them at whatever time each day works for them. It can be super early morning, late in the evening, weekends, or even some holidays. If they're housebound, my appointments, as long as there are no safety concerns, I will be there. These appointments can be 30 minutes, they can be 3 hours. Ones that do have that access to their VA file, that's their personnel plan, their VA medical records, and their military medical records. I review every page of every document that's there. That process can take a week. Some of those documents are 60 years old, company, microfiche, scanned in, handwritten on the back side of the company. Mirrored, and it takes a while, but I'm looking at every single page of every document there. The VA rate only has a few minutes per claim. If I can direct them to where that evidence is, it works out better for the government. Once I file the claim, I follow it. I check on it once a week. Once it gets to ready for decision status, so they have all of their evidence and make a decision, I check my data. I do that so that if there's any documents that are there that need to be looked at or needs to be action, I can let them know what they need to do. Sometimes the VA mails a letter that doesn't make any sense. I've received letters from the VA that I've had to read 3 times to even understand what they're asking for. So that way, when I'm reviewing these letters, I know what the VA is looking for and then advise the government what to do there. Once the VA makes their decision, I reach out to the government, need to add a dependent to their claim if they're over 30%. Any other little things. If it's denied, maybe we need to take some other action. We need to appeal, they need to get medical. I just want to make sure that everything is being done as well as it can be, and if they get what they should be getting. Again, sometimes bits of that process take just a little while, sometimes they take months. I just I check for missed phone calls, emails, text messages outside of that. But it's pretty much always on me. It'll be a weekend or holiday, and I just put it from assist, but it doesn't happen very often. I was on yesterday for my appointment, and I checked it 17 times throughout the day. I do that just so that if there is an urgent issue, I can handle this as I can. I don't generally take Friday and Monday off because then if somebody calls me on a Thursday, they may not hear back from me or Tuesday. I don't want them to wait. And if my kids are animals that maybe background, they don't want to hear that Sunday afternoon. If it's an urgent issue, I always handle it, schedule it during the week that I'll be back. Because I'm a veteran, there is crossover between my work life and my personal life. I spoke with my VA chair position about issues concerning veterans I work with and received a positive outcome. I've heard from veterans that there are issues with the VA's community care program. That's where they're not seeing VA doctors, they're seeing civilian doctors, and the VA is paying for it. I've heard of issues. Recently, I needed to see a specialist. I had the option to go through the VA directly or through community care. I chose community care so that I could see those issues and could live firsthand so that I could then help the veterans deal with them. I can't just tell them how to do the This is only led to some changes in the VA primary care physicians and their community care referral. Instead of just getting a referral and not giving following up, they didn't follow up. Veteran community outreach and peer support aspect is all to me. I received this card in the mail yesterday. The VA is doing another survey on suicides. In the last 20 years, 2001 to 2021, veteran suicide increased 76%. The veteran suicide rate is 70% higher in 2021 than that of non-veterans. Because of that, just because we know that suicide rates have been high for a long time, I make sure that I am paying attention to the peer support aspect of things. One way is they can always text me, call me. I'm not, but I'm still there to just talk or to put them out. There's also a movie veteran in the 80s and we text messages almost every day. Because the weather report, recommended uniform of the day, or simply checking to let me know that he is doing okay. Usually he just calls me Army. He'll say, take good care of yourself. The veterans will make a lot of human influence. Everybody Army, so be careful, it's be a little wet. Happy Mother's Day for your day remembrance. While I was in Denver for the TDC annual conference, he said, let me know when you're home safe. When he did, glad to safe. An 80-something-year-old veteran telling me, thanks for looking out for us on the good morning, caretaker of the veterans of the Texas Hills. Be careful out there that you don't sleep on one here. That's just one of the ones that he regularly texts me. If I don't hear from him for a few days, I do get concerned and then check in. As a VSO was also being a member of the Highway value the idea of having some sort of peer support. Again, because of the suicide rate. They agreed with a donation that would help fund them. I conducted a survey of them to figure out what day of the week would work best for them, what kind of things they wanted to do, and what time of day. We wound up going to the second Wednesday of every month, and it's just coffee and donuts. To the public, to them, it is coffee and donuts. On my side of things, it is peer support. They get together for the next few hours, once a month, have coffee, have donuts, and there's coffee. They're creating relationships. They're creating friendships they may not have outside of there. There's some of the members of the coach, some of the non-members of the coach, but all area members to it. Outside of that, sometimes they'll just schedule meetings they want to. Again, they don't have counsel, but I can for them out to services. Or they just want to hear about somebody else's life. They're about their own life. They're checking on me, my family, my kids, what I've been doing. Last thing is the money. The money is a big things here. It's a small county, low population, low veteran. But we have still in the last fiscal year, faculty was $289,222. That was lump sum payments to the veteran backdated to the date that they filed the claim. Because the PACT Act passed 10th, 2022. My position started on 2022. That was really the perfect timing. most of the clients I assisted, like, have, a lot of agents, be not. It's supposed to be, that's, they received the back pay to the date that the law passed. It isn't just for a few months, it was all the way up, sometimes it's a year of them pay. So $289,222 money was in tax-free lump sum payments. Other one-time payments is $2,000. That's gonna be the death benefits, death or burial benefits. Usually, I don't see those claims because the funeral of the family file those claims. Monthly increase, so that's the monthly payment that are receiving is $48,937.52, which is 1 month. And then the annual income increase for governments in Blanton County is $587,250.20. The total over the 2 years that I've worked here is annual income increase of $681,570.26, which is this last fiscal year was $587,250. So we're $500,000 for the annual income increase, and then for $4 million just in that pay. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you for what you do.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You guys starting the position agreement opposition. I usually say I'm just here doing paperwork. Obviously I'm doing more than that, but I'm just making sure that they're getting what they should be getting.
Rest assured, you're making a big difference.
Yeah.
Well, I think on that spectrum where you talked about every service officer does it differently. And the case manager, you're on that extreme end of a lot of personal attention, a lot of effort. And I think I just have to say, and what's the driver on this program? But I think I just have to say, every now and then you get lucky and you find the right person. But it is there's a bit of luck involved, and maybe we get lucky found you. So
Yeah.
I want to echo the others and thank you, all you people.
I think I have the best. That's just because of the relationships and the helping them in such a big ways. When they call me and they got their back pay, and even if it's just a little bit of it, it is life changing to them. Even if it's just a low end $170 a month, it can still be life changing for them. So it's getting that appreciation from them, it's the best thing.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Item 10 is a proclamation I'm prepared to sign, but I want to give you the opportunity to join. Not to look forward to it. It is a proclamation recognizing Mount Horeb's Baptist Church 150th anniversary that's coming up very shortly.
Judge, I appreciate y'all putting this together. They are having their 150th anniversary coming up here soon, and with that, I would like to make a motion to approve the proclamation recognizing Mount Horeb Baptist Church's 150th anniversary.
Is there a second? Second. Commissioner Riley, discussion. All in favor, say aye. All opposed. I'm something. I hope to have a little bit of discussion about so in ESD 1, there are 3 positions coming open, and there are yes, correct, 3 positions coming open. Mr. O'Bannon, Sodian, and Mr. Magna, and then ESD number 2, there are also 3 positions coming open, Ms. Hall and Mr. Richardson. Our office has received information that Mr. O'Bannon and Ms. Odean are both interested in still serving, at your pleasure. And down south, all 3, Ms. Hall, Mr. Burton, and Ms. Richardson have indicated they would like to continue on as well. In addition, we've received some of course, there's Mr. Magna, whose position will need to replace on the ESD 1. We received some applications for both ESDs at this point, in addition to the existing members. And what I wanted to talk about this morning is a couple of suggested dates. I feel like we need a cutoff date. Well, let's back into this. The date that these positions serve from January 1st of each year on. So the position that you would be appointing to be effective on January 1st. And I think the best time for you to make those appointments is December the 10th at our regularly scheduled meeting. Contemplating or anticipating that we may not have a second meeting in December, which is so often skipped. So if that is indeed what you want to do is to make that determination on December 10th, then I think there needs to be a cutoff date for anyone that does apply, so you have an opportunity to have the information. And as you can see on the agenda, I'm proposing that November the 15th be the cutoff date to receive applications. Now, between November the 15th and December the 10th is 25 or so days. And if the court would like to conduct interviews, then that gives us time to set up something to do that. In my experience, interviews are done in closed session. Lots of reasons, not the least of which is no one has an unfair advantage in terms of knowing the questions in advance or knowing how someone else answers questions. And it's legal to conduct interviews for appointments like that in closed session. So it's something you might want to be thinking about. We have some time, because this is only October 8th. The second part of this is, I don't see Ms. Hall, see Mr. O'Bannon, but both of them have indicated to me that they would like Commissioners Court to incorporate the existing ESD boards into the process. And by that, I think they mean they want to interview new applicants and then make recommendations to the court. I've not said this to them specifically, so they haven't heard this out loud yet. I wish they were here. My own view is, I don't think that's a great idea. I don't have any problem if they choose to interview applicants. I don't have any problem if they want to share their opinion of applicants with the court. My problem is in the court dictating that there be this process between another governmental agency and applicants. That's to me between them. And how they want to provide the input to us is up to them, in my view. But I'm not in favor of, but I want to let you know that both chairs are in favor of court making part of the process that interviews happen at the ESD boards. Getting plots. It's not something I will vote. Something I needed to bring to your attention because both chairs have asked about it. All right, that's everything I have on it. So I guess the questions, well, the questions under the agenda item, if you agree with me on the dates, then those are the dates that Ms. Harrison would be getting out to the public. If somebody contacts us, it's the dates we can put on the website. Our website is deadlines, so people know that they need to get their application in by a certain time and when we are going to make the decisions. And if you want to incorporate more into that process, we can do that. I don't think we have to decide today about interviews necessarily. But could, or at least you all can express your opinions, and if you think this court wants to interview applicants.
So I would make a motion to approve the deadline of November 15th for all applicants for ESD 1 and 2 to receive their applications, and for the vote from the Commissioners Court to be placed on the December 10th meeting for the appointments.
Is there a second? Second. Commissioner Riley, discussion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Anything else? All right. I guess we'll move to item 12. This is a straight up request for authorizing to a contract with Profile to do some more digital imaging. If you want details, Ms. Waller is actually, so you can tell us more about the Johnson guardianship. We first listed it as the Lincoln B. Johnson guardianship, but President Johnson was never a ward and never subject to a guardianship, but there's a family guardianship involved and had to do with his presidency. And they're pretty significant historical documents that Ms. Walla and I are interested in preserving and digitizing. This is the way to go. Anything else you want to say?
So I have a question.
I'll move to authorize county judge enter into a contract and preservation project of LBJ guardianship documents. Johnson family.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Item 13. Accepting the quote from Central Square.
I make a motion to authorize the county judge to accept and sign the quote from Central Square for field ops and mobile CAD add-on for the fire marshal's office.
Is there a second? Second. Discussion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 14, accept Central Square's annual subscription.
Authorize the county judge to accept and sign the Central Square Records Tyler Brazos e-certification interface annual subscription agreement as outlined in the sheriff's office.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Clear discussion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 15, another Central Square adding licenses.
I make a motion to authorize the county judge to accept and sign the Central Square field ops subscription agreement, adding 2 additional licenses outlined in the sheriff's office section of the budget.
Second. Discussion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 16, specs to purchase 3 vehicles.
So I'm going to approve the spec and purchase of 3 vehicles. This is where Eager and Riley as outlined in the capital equipment section. Fiscal year 24-25 budget.
There's a second.
Second.
Commissioner Leesman, discussion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 17, replat.
Replat and Rock and J, 2 lots in the ones. Not going to approve the plat of lots 875 and the Rock and J subdivision. As 74A.
Second.
We're seconds. Discussion. Any unusual things about this?
No, sir.
All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Item 18.
Make a motion with adjourn.
There's a second. Third. Mr. Riley, discussion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
today, the eighth.